why use event rating, how to view responses, after submitting, what do you do, and ideas for virtual events. So why create a virtual event? So a virtual event is a great way to keep your organization engaged with each other. It allows for members to chat with other members, to kind of communicate. It's a hard time being in quarantine all the time, not seeing anybody, so it's a great way to communicate, actually see each other's faces. It helps get your organization's name out there on MineTracker for other members or students to see your organization and see that you are engaged within this time being in quarantine. It allows for members to feel like they're interacting with real people in real time and not just talking to a screen. So I have a question for you all. Have any of you created a virtual event yet, like in the spring semester or in the summertime already? If so, how did it turn out? And if you haven't, do you plan on creating one during the summer or in the fall? You can open your mic if you'd like to talk, or you can put it in the chat, whatever you feel more comfortable with. I'd like to hear what you all have to say. I see Cheyenne said, Arise hasn't hosted any, but really looking into it for November. Awesome. Well, I hope this can help you out a little bit and give you some ideas. Gracia says we haven't, but we are planning to do so. Awesome. Do you have any ideas, either of you, about what you're kind of wanting to do? Do you have any events like virtually or anything you're planning yet?
I think another good question to add on to this is also like why maybe we haven't tried creating a virtual event. Is it because, you know, of the platform, internet connection? Everyone's trying to, you know, we're trying to finish the spring semester off, you know, just busy schedule. I think I'm pretty curious to know a little bit as to what might have held you all back.
I see Leslie says.
Can I say something?
Yes.
This is Cheyenne.
Go for it.
Well, I kind of, I think a lot of us will say, like, I think it's been a weird time to work on events. I know that our group, for instance, of course, we've had issues connecting, finding the appropriate time to start thinking about the next semester, how UTEP's going to handle it, how it's going to be dealt with. And then I know we got a gray area of, like, as student organizations, you know, we have to have events passed and in process before we really host them. So I wasn't really sure what the RSO have decided on how we're gonna like get those things approved or dealt with. I've seen the Black Student Union host some events, or not host events, but they have these like fun discussions, these live videos on Instagram. And we've kind of talked with the president there, and I think we've already kind of debated that we would want to host things together. And it, you know, that's why I think me and the president here talk or want to hear what you all have to say about how we can best set up these things, because personally I don't really also know a lot about technology. Adjusting to all these like online discussion forums is new to me, Zoom, these buttons. And so like, I mean, I know you guys aren't really involved in doing that, but hearing what you have to say is probably why we're both here, because we do want to extend that discussion, that part of what makes like student organizations important and great, but also adjusting to the fact that we don't have the capabilities to meet up like we usually would safely in school right now.
Thank you, Cheyenne, for that info. I completely agree. It's a hard time right now for sure. And it's a crazy time to learn all these new things, and everything is new to us. And I think we're all doing a really good job with adapting to the situation and just kind of trying to make a new normal, because, you know, we're probably going to be like this in the fall too. We don't know yet. So we're going to have to try to adapt to it in the fall and try to get our organization so our organization members don't drop, and just try to get everybody together and like feel like it's like the same, but it's not going to be, but just try to make sure that we are connected and want them to be there.
Yes, yes.
Agree with that. I see that Leslie said that you've had a few meetings in social via Zoom in the spring, and we are hoping to continue to do starting in August. Each time we had about 10 members attend. At least you have 10 members attend. That's good. At least it's something. Hopefully you can continue to do that in August as well. I see Marlene, you're planning on hosting one, inviting a guest speaker, but you need creative ideas and make it attractive. Well, hopefully this can help you a little bit. You can always email us too about your ideas, and we can probably give you input with that. SAA has been looking into live streaming for our events. I think live streaming is a great way to get the community involved. I think that's a great way. Our office does a live stream every Monday, and it's actually been pretty good. We work with departments, and students have joined, and it's really nice. Sorry, guys. This is what quarantine is, where you work from home. Sorry. Jaylene, you have used Zoom for a few meetings during the spring and some during the summer, but member participation has not been high. I think we have realized this within our programs, and like we do the NSO live hub sessions with the new student organizations, and we have realized that not many people join during the summer. So I appreciate you all so much for joining this time, because we get it. It's summer. People want to take a break. You know, this is kind of their time to chill and take some time off. But so hopefully the member participation will be higher as school gets closer and closer. So fingers crossed that people will start joining and be more active. Does anyone else have any questions or comments so far? If not, we can continue on.
I think I have just one question to add on here. I'm just curious to see if anyone is interested exactly on how to utilize more tools to host virtual events. I know today we're talking about creating a virtual event, which is, you know, on MineTracker, but perhaps, you know, some might not know the tools to utilize via Zoom or on Microsoft Teams or anything like that. If it's something that you're interested in, definitely put that in the chat so we can go ahead and create a workshop or send you all an email on more tips. I know Adriana has worked on different, Adriana and Joanna, on virtual programming ideas, and also step-by-steps on how to create your virtual events on other platforms as well.
Yes,
Awesome.
definitely
Okay.
take a look at that. Thank you for that, April. All right, we'll continue on. All right, so how to create a virtual event. So you're gonna have the option for people to RSVP and ask questions about their attendance. So that's at the beginning. If you want to limit like the amount of people who can join your event, you're gonna have the option for an event rating at the end of your event to see if you can, it's like a new program where it's like out of 5 stars. So like if you want to, like for instance, if you're wanting to rate a restaurant or something, or like a hotel or something like that, they have the option to kind of do the same thing for your event. You're gonna have the option to upload an image for your event to make it more personal, fill out additional information, and then when done, hit submit. So here we're gonna do a step-by-step process of the whole process. So first, when you log into MineTracker, you're gonna go to your organization's MineTracker page. In the top right corner, there's gonna be a Manage Organization button. So you're gonna click that, and keep in mind that the Manage Organization button only pops up for people who have management access. They have to be granted this access by somebody who has previously had this access. So like the previous president has to grant it over to you so you can have access. So you're gonna click that, and then it's gonna bring you down to your main page, and in the top left corner, there's gonna be 3 little lines, 3 horizontal lines. You're gonna click on that, and then you're gonna click Events. It will then take you to your page with all the events on it. So in the top right, you're going to click Create Event to get your event started. And then you can complete all these questions with your event title, the date, the theme you want, and just the information like the description of what your event is going to entail. And then it's going to ask you for the online location. So previously it's going to ask you like a theme. So you're going to click virtual event theme. It's going to say like learning, spiritual, political, like there's all sorts of different themes, but you'll click virtual event for this one and it'll limit like the amount of steps you have to go through as well. So you'll click online location link. Online location, put the description like where you're going to host it, like Zoom, Teams, Blackboard Collaborate, any other like Skype or whatever program you want to use. And then you'll do the event categories. You'll click virtual event here as well. So here, this is where you can limit the amount of people who RSVP, if you even want the RSVP option, anything like that. So you can just follow all these little tool buttons right here to see if you're interested in having the RSVP option. And this is a really good option if you are, for instance, if we are going back on campus or like having small groups on campus, like 10 group people, if like for instance, if the union reopens and you can have small meetings for small organizations, something like that. Or if it's like a public event, but you only want 10 to 20 people there or something like that. This is a great way for you to have that option to limit the amount of people who show up, and it will notify you and notify them if there's like a max already amount that they can't join or something like that. So it's a great option. So who can RSVP? This setting is set to anyone by default, meaning that anyone who is available to find the event through the event visibility settings will be able to RSVP. So this means that you are able to, like when you create an event, you are able to show who can see this event. So you can make it public, so anyone who's not even a member of MineTracker and they just log on to MineTracker, they can see all the events. As well as you can make it like to just your organization members or members who are part of other organizations that are like available on MineTracker who have like the UTEP login and stuff like that. So you can make it to those different amount of people. You can choose to make your event publicly visible, like I said, but allow only RSVPs to attend your event. And you can disable this feature completely, which would remove all the RSVP options and all that good stuff. Okay, we actually have Marcella. She was able to join the call.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So we're going to talk about as well, like limiting the numbers of available spots in our events. So as you know, MineTracker gives you the option to know how many people are able to attend the event. And this is going to be super helpful for the fall, since we will be able to track, you will be able to track the students who attend your event. And as well, you can give them some of the organizations use this for attendance, and as well to give them points to their students. So this is going to be very helpful for the fall semester. And yes.
Right, so why use event ratings? This is good when you're creating your event. You have the option to enable, if you, like I said earlier about like the restaurants or like the hotels, like giving them like a 5-star. This gives notifications to attendees who attended your event. It'll send them an automatic notification that will allow them to rate the event. They'll receive an email to have this option, and then the responses will be anonymous, so you won't know who didn't like your event or who loved your event. So it's kind of just protecting the other people who attended your event, basically. Okay, so how to view responses. So when you log into MineTracker, you're going to navigate to the Manage View option, which is like the Manage Organization button in the top right. You're going to select Events, like you did before, like when you're creating your event, and then click on the event you would like to manage that you created already. You'll scroll down on this view to the Event Ratings section, and it will show you the preview of the results so far that everybody has anonymously put in, assuming that at least one person has done the response. The average score of the 5 stars is displayed on the page, along with a breakdown of how many users gave a response to your event rating. You'll also be able to export the ratings to see each rating along with any comments they left, good or bad, about but there's not any identification of like the person giving it, and the attendee will be disabled here as well.
It is very important for your organization to put an image when you're going to create an event. This will be eye-catching for the participants and for everyone that log into MineTracker. Because I don't know if you remember, but there's this time when if you don't put an image, MineTracker will have an automatic image to put in the event. So to distinguish your event, we recommend you to put an image. It could be a flyer or an image of your organization. It could be just your logo. And you could, the option is going to be upload the image for your event. You're going to fill out additional information. And when you're done, you just need to submit it. Hit the submit button.
So when you finish submitting, please give us and the SOS team at least 3 business days to approve or deny your request. This gives us time because we haven't really had a lot of submissions during the summer, but we're assuming probably when the fall semester comes up, all the organizations are going to want to start doing meetings and all sorts of things. So please give us at least 3 business days to look at your request and approve it. Make sure that if you are the person submitting it, make sure that you put your information so we can contact you if there's any questions we have or anything like that. So the person who puts their information will be getting email notifications about from MineTracker. They'll be getting an email, like a notification on MineTracker, as well as an email from MineTracker letting you know about like any comments we've made, or if your event has been approved or denied, and all that good stuff to see if you can continue with it. Sorry, Marcella. Does anyone have any questions so far about anything?
There is a question. It's from April. Is there an option to send event notifications to more than one person?
I think there is.
I think so too.
April, do you want to talk a little bit about that? You might more.
Yes, I was about to. I'm just trying to turn on my camera. What do you mean exactly, event notifications? Like if you're trying to invite someone, or?
Or at the moment when you're uploading when you're submitting the event. When more than one officer to know about the event.
Yeah, but I think I'm asking more as in.
Oh, this is Cheyenne asked a different question. So Abriel asked about the event notifications.
Okay, I was a bit confused. I wasn't too sure if it was event notifications as in submitting an event request. Like if you're asking if you want another officer to know, like, hey, you know, an event has been submitted on behalf of your organization, or when it's already been approved, and you just want to, you know, as a reminder, like, hey, we have this event going on Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'm just a bit confused on that question. For now, I'm just gonna hop to Cheyenne's to see. Okay, so I think the question that you're asking is the approval process, correct? Okay. Yeah, for the approval process, it's only going to be between us, the SOS team, so myself, Joanna, Adriana, and Mallory. And then your advisor is actually on there now. That's a feature that they have included. So we can see on our end that advisors are now part of the submission, so they can see when something has been submitted, and then also the individual who submitted, that's they're included on there as well. As of right now, additional officers hasn't been included in the approval process, and not that they're included in the approval process to either approve or deny, but more as a reviewer. So they can just give a thumbs up, and the final approval or denial is going to come from the SELC. So myself, Joanna, or Adriana, we're the ones who do the final approval. I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please let me know on the chat.
I think as well, like something that I want to mention is that I remember when I was the RSO of one of my organizations and I was submitting events on MineTrack, I received when someone else, like if the president of the organization submitted an event, I could see that she submit the event, but I did not receive that the event was either approved or not. I will need to go into MineTrack and then to my organization and see if the event got approved or not. So it's just, you will not receive an email, but you can log into the website and look at the options, look at if got approved or not.
Yes. And I also saw on the chat that Jesus is asking that he doesn't have the option to create an event. So if you don't see the option to create an event, it's probably because you don't have admin access to your organization. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you have the proper position in your roster within your organization and the correct access, because you are able to filter out access depending on a position. So you may have access to the roster tool, but you don't have access to the events tool. Or you might have access to the news tool, etc. Like, it just varies. It depends whoever, set up your management access. I believe, Jesus, you are part. I'm trying to scroll up to see what your role is. So you're the president. That means you should have access. I don't know if you if you were just elected as the president during this transition from spring to the fall semester, and maybe it hasn't been updated on MineTracker. So just want to let you all know that if you received notice on this workshop through email, we did go ahead and just add all members that are on MineTracker to our listserv. We originally had it for presidents, vice presidents, for them and advisors. We would send out email and updates to them, but we figured sometimes, positions change, or some people aren't getting notified by the presidents or vice presidents. So we added everyone onto the listserv to make sure that they're notified of opportunities like this. So I'm not too sure for some of you if this week was the first time you got an email from us, and that might be why, because we went ahead and just added everyone on there, because we think it's important that you all are aware of these opportunities in case your president or vice president are not sharing this information. So just wanted to let you all know. Jesus, if you're not able to change your admin access, please email us at sos@utep.edu, and we can go ahead and help you with that. I also saw the question, do we need club member virtual meetings to be approved? Club members is just like a virtual, you know, meeting like through Zoom with everyone. Is that what you're asking? And not really like an event that's open to the community or to other students? Okay, yeah, you can submit that on MineTracker. So with submitting events, it also gives you the option to make your event public. So you can make it public for other students to see what you have going on when they log onto MineTracker and join an event, or you can put to organization only. So if you want just for your organization to see when they get on MineTracker, they'll see that you have that event. So I think it's a good idea to still include your meetings, submitting them through MineTracker, because you have those additional tools, right? Perhaps you want to do the survey like they mentioned earlier, you want to give some feedback, get some feedback from the meeting, so you can just include that within the event request. It also helps you in terms of just tracking your organization, what you all do throughout the year. So the more you put on MineTracker, the easier it is for you all to just access this information at the end of the year, and you're able to see, we held this many meetings during the summer, this many events, etc. So the more you can upload on MineTracker, I think it's best for your organization in terms of tracking and collecting any information that may be used at the end of the semester.
As well as if you're wanting to look back at like previous events that you've held, it's good to like get an idea of what the past officers did and maybe kind of like implement what they did and use it for yours as well. So you have all that information that they filled out and completed, so you could use it for this coming up year.
I think as well as it will be very beneficial to have those events for the freshman students, since sometimes like they're looking for organizations and new activities, and they have access to MineTrack, and we still don't know if we're going to go back to campus, so they will be able to look at the organizations and the meetings and join your meetings without being in campus. So that's a good option to have.
Yes.
Some of the ideas that we recommend you to have for virtual events, it's like Zoom, webinars. There had been Netflix watch parties. I know that Selk organized some. There's the virtual workout sessions. The cheerleaders have been doing the workout sessions that have been very successful, as well the virtual art and crafts. And I remember like one time we had a lot of fun here with Selk in one of our meetings. We have the scavenger hunt. It was super fun. So we recommend you to get creative. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of websites that are offering games, virtual games to have with your members. So these are some of the options that we recommend you to have with your members to create this good environment online.
I completely agree. Thank you, Marcella. One thing that you could possibly do as well is create like an icebreaker before your meeting, or while you're meeting, but like the first thing you do and like maybe the last thing you do, so like they actually have something to look forward to while they're going to a meeting, and it's just not like boring professional stuff, like this is a boring time for everyone, so we want some fun and some interaction with each other, even though it's virtually, but it's still fun to see each other's smiling faces and like playing charades, like you act out like a bird or something, like, or play Pictionary. We've done that. I know that Blackboard Collaborate, and I think Zoom as well has like the whiteboard tool where you can like draw things and everyone can see it. So it's a great way for you to interact with people. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. For you to interact with your members and kind of get them having a fun time and kind of the same environment that they would have if they were in the meeting, getting the social interaction. Does anyone have any questions about this or any more ideas that you have done in the past or
We
anything?
have a question from Tian. She's asking, wouldn't the Netflix watch party fall into those issues of copyright and such?
April, do you want to talk about this?
Yes. So the Netflix watch parties are more, you can't showcase that tool like to everybody. So you must already be subscribed to Netflix in order to even use this plugin. So we're not saying that you can submit an event and say, we're all gonna watch Finding Nemo or something, because that's not possible. Unless you have a Netflix account, then you're able to do this Netflix watch party. So they have tried it before. I believe it was in collaboration with SGA. During finals week, our office did a Netflix watch party. And so just people who already had the account and are able to see, you know, these movies and shows through Netflix were able to participate. So that's just the only downfall from this, is that you must have a Netflix account in order to even participate in a Netflix watch party.
Thank you on that, April. Does that make it clear for you, Cheyenne?
Does that help? If it doesn't make full sense, please let us know so we can, you know, just talk about it a bit more. Like I said, it's just if you have the account, then you're able to actually watch, you know, join in one of these. But if you don't, then you're not able to, and you can't, you know, have a Zoom call and then just start like sharing your screen or something. You have to actually have the Netflix account.
Yeah,
Because
so
you
I
need to
think
download
Oh,
an
okay, I see that.
extension.
Yeah, you have to download an extension plugin.
yeah, you can't do it on Zoom like where you share your screen and like you watch the live thing. Like you have to go to like the Netflix account and like actually watch it there, and then you guys can meet up through that account instead of Zoom.
Yeah, so I guess we weren't as clear to what the Netflix watch party is. So that's a plugin. So we're not saying a Netflix watch party as in jumping on a Zoom call or anything and then just sharing screen. So there is a process where you have to download the plugin, and then it's actually pretty cool if you do have a Netflix account and you do download the plugin. On the side is the chat, and you're able to like chat with people as the movie is going on or show.
And I know some people, I'm not exactly sure who said it, but that you were interested in doing like live sessions like this upcoming fall or this end of the summer. I think that would be a great idea for maybe you and like some other members to kind of share your experience going live about like your experience at UTEP and like joining an organization and kind of just that process and how it's really benefited you, and then like post it on your Instagram and maybe share it to other organizations to post and kind of just get your name out there. I think that'd be an awesome idea to get kind of like a recruiting option and just kind of getting your opinion and your experience out there to other students. I think that'd be really cool too. Okay, continue. All right, we have another question for you. What virtual events have you hosted, and do you have any events planned? We've kind of already asked this, but if anything has come to mind to anybody, if anyone wants to share anything.
I can add something here. I know that in my organization, we were planning to do something like, I am in two organizations. One, we're doing like Women's Who Run. So it's a political organization, nonpartisan organization. And we are interviewing women who are elected officials. So it is very important for us to know how was their political career before getting into office. So we're reaching out to members of the community and this is open to the community. Everyone can jump into our call and where it is very important for us to know how can we start with our political career. Another one is professional development. So how to develop our LinkedIn, what to put on LinkedIn, kind of do like what is beneficial for us to have in this social media account. So that's what we're doing right now.
I really like that. Thank you so much for sharing. I see Leslie said, you have posted workshops to help our members prepare for applying to graduate school. We've had one of the professors from the Masters of Occupational Therapy program come answer questions. That is awesome. I really love that. I think that's a great tool for students right now, especially those who are getting close to graduation and kind of freaking out. You know, they never expected them to be online. Nobody signed up for this, you know, so that's a great way to get some professors in here and give them some advice and have a little push to help them along the way. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Does anyone else have anything? It's okay if not. You can continue. All right, so we have 2 more MineTracker sessions coming up. One in 2 weeks on July 16th. We'll be talking about roster organization and management. So Jesus, we can give you a little bit information on how to deal with your roster and change positions and manage all that. If you're interested in that. And then the involvement and connecting with members on July 30th. This is more about like the connection in and out of virtual events and meetings and just to make members feel more connected during this time. So it'd be awesome if you all could join. And then Adriana, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so I see that a lot of you are super interested in learning more and helping your organizations run a little more smoothly while we're doing it virtually. Thankfully, our next sub-session is going to be on how you can lead an organization virtually. So just sharing best practices, tips, probably more virtual event ideas. So that one's going to be on July 8th. And then we'll have the following one on how you can prepare your RSO for fall 2020 registration. So both of those sessions will just share best practices, tips, platforms, all fun things that you all can utilize and try to see if it works for your RSO. So I hope we get to see you all there on those 2 dates.
All right, so we have an announcement. Our student organization fall 2020 re-registration, it's going to open Wednesday, July 15th. The priority deadline will be September 9th. The final deadline will be September 30th. And all student organizations must re-register, I misspelled that, but during this time in order to remain active. Make sure you submit this on MineTracker. And if you want some extra help on the process, Adriana is going to have a soap session on it, so maybe you could wait to do that after her soap session. But yes, just a reminder about this. This is super important.
I think I just want to jump on with the registration. We'll be sending out an email today with a bit more details on how to re-register. I'm reading the chat. Okay. Cheyenne, feel free to email us on this, and we can help you with that. But I wanted to say we are going to be emailing you all with more details on the fall semester and registration. We are currently working on revamping our module and our handbook to provide you all with a little bit more guidance and information, resources, and all of that. So that's currently not available. So when registration opens, we are going to also share the new handbook, the new module that we'll be utilizing, and that's also why we extended the deadline. Originally, we had it for September 9th, but we extended it for the 30th just due to, this is something we don't really have control over. So we're just trying to make sure that we are providing you all with all the policies, all the resources and information prior to the fall semester. So just bear with us, but we'll get that all out to you as soon as possible.
All right, so as always, you can follow us on UTEP SCLC on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're always posting the events we're doing, little tips and tricks, and it's just a great way to stay involved as well. Karina says, will we have access to this PowerPoint? Yes, you will. We'll probably send it out by email or something, but we'll give access to you so you can have this. You're welcome. Does anyone have any final questions for us?
I do have a question. Can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I missed the elections workshop. I don't know if there's going to be another one, or can you send me an email on how that's going to work?
Yeah, we actually recorded that session. So maybe we can send you over the video of that so you can have it kind of like how it was live.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe we can send both of those PowerPoints over to you as well, to maybe all of the members of the organization or something.
I have a question as well. This is Cheyenne.
Cheyenne, yes.
I just want to double make sure that I know this. So whenever, no matter what kind of system we're using, if it's Zoom, you know, Facebook's has that whole room situation now. There's all these outlooks, all these different ways for people to connect virtually. So as a student organization, and since we always have had to have our events passed through the RSOs, SOS, and all that jazz, no matter what any platform we're using, we have to get approved through you guys before we host it, and even before we start like promoting it, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. We recommend you do that.
Okay.
It's not like, I mean, there's organizations that do it without the approval process, and we can't really like whip down on you, you know, but it's a good idea to do it. We mostly encourage it, like when we were on the fall session, like all the events on campus had to be through there. But I guess it's kind of different virtually, but we recommend you do it. Just so, you know, if anything were to happen, we would have record of it and you would be able to go back and look at it. And like we said earlier, like your previous members can see how many meetings you had throughout the semester and just look back on like the previous things you've done to use as reference. So we do recommend it. It is highly recommended for sure.
All right. I just want to make sure, because I remember that became an issue, I think, last semester, because more and more groups are getting like Facebook accounts, and that's become like just the reality. And it was something that we had heard where it's like, okay, well, you can't promote things on your Facebook until they've been approved. And that was a new regulation of, you know, where we were like, we have to be more aware of what we're posting on organizations as public entities that are extensions of the university. So I just wanted to see like in that realm. So that's kind of what my meeting situation was, because I know our group are discussing having a meeting like sometime soon. And so it is that thing of like, it was only supposed to be the handful of members that we have that are coming back that want to talk about like little things. I don't want us to get in trouble in any way with RSO breaking any rules. And I know you guys are still making these rules. All this stuff is new. So I just wanted to make sure it's like, okay, so is it best? But if we don't get it approved, we're not going to be penalized. But ideally, we do get it approved, right?
Yes, ideally you should get it approved. And I guess like the fine line is if you're going to post about it, like show it to the public, you should probably get it approved just in case. You know,
Yes.
Because we've kind of in the past have gotten, we've gone on organizations who have made events and posted about it, but we have nothing, we don't even know that it's happening, or it's like still in the approval process and isn't approved yet. Like that's not allowed. But I guess if it's just a meeting like between your own few members, you should probably do it, but I mean, we don't know, so.
Okay. I got you. I like what you said, just keeping record and track. And I know when we do the audit measurements later on, it's good to have those numbers and we have it recorded and everything like that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? And if not, you can always email our team at sos@utep.edu and stay up to date on the COVID situation. We don't know what's going to happen, but whenever we do know what's going to happen, university will post it on their website about all the upcoming news and things that we're going to do on campus. So just stay updated with that. But if there's no more questions, I appreciate you all for joining. Thank you so much. This has been the best turnout we've had on our MineTracker 101, so I appreciate you so much. You all are awesome. I hope you all got some good information on this. We can probably send this PowerPoint to you, possibly this video. And yeah, email us questions if you have. I'll be sending out like assessment, kind of like just some feedback for us. I'll be sending that to your emails. I would really appreciate if you all could fill that out for us and give us some feedback. That'd be awesome. But thank you all so much. The team and I will stay on here just a little bit if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. But if not, y'all are free to leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Stay healthy.